Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about how to create a wireframe, and I'm going to show you exactly how with some practical examples and the many ways that you can go after creating a wireframe. Now this is a part 2 video of a video which I shot yesterday, which was more theoretical and talked about the reasons why to create a wireframe in the first place, when it's a good idea to do so, and how to create it, also with some tips and tricks. But in this video, we're going to be much more practical and hands-on. So I'm going to show you exactly how to create one and the many options which you have available. So hope you enjoyed this video, and without further ado, let's jump into my computer. Okay, so let's start with the very first method. The first one is what I simply call a freestyle wireframing, and you essentially can do this with any design tool. I'm personally using Figma because I work 100% remotely, and it's a tool which allows me to work very easily with clients from all around the world, because I can simply share a link to them and they can access the file, and I can see them live, and they can also see my cursor live. So it's a really great tool if you're planning to work remotely, because the collaboration aspect of it, it just makes it very easy for the client. But anyways, you can do that also in Adobe XD and in other softwares. So it's just a preference. Now let's talk about the very first one, which is the freestyle wireframing. So freestyle wireframing, essentially what it is you simply create a wireframe with some basic elements. So for example, if I were to sketch out a website, I can simply go in the tool and simply create a wireframe which can be high fidelity or low fidelity. And usually I do this also on client consultations from time to time, live. So basically I can talk with the client about the project, and one word of caution is that before you even start wireframing, you absolutely have to understand the client goals, the client pain points, where he wants to, what he wants to achieve exactly with the project, and also you want to understand their business, and you want to understand their market, their industry, the target market, and all that stuff, because it's really important to understand the context in which you operate, and even before you start wireframing. So this is step 2. I'm essentially showing you step 2 of a typical UI UX design process. So essentially I would literally create some wireframes on the go, and again, this can be high fidelity or low fidelity. In this case, what I'm creating at the moment could be interpreted as a low fidelity because it's very high level. However, I could even go on and really make this more detailed. So I could add some text here. For example, it could be something around these lines. Here I could add a headline. Here I can add a sub headline, and essentially I would create the wireframe idea on the spot, but without using any UX kits or any other assets of that nature. So this is good for moving quickly, but without but not for projects which have complex elements. So of course, if the client needs like a complex graph or something around these lines, it's really hard to create one on the spot. However, you could for example leave a blank space such as this one, and you can add a note for yourself, like add a graph here and stuff like that. But again, guys, this as I mentioned, this is the freestyle wireframing, so you're kind of freestyling on the go. And I would say that I use this method quite a bit, especially during the consultation calls, to get some ideas and brainstorming quickly done together. However, there are multiple other ways to wireframe. The second method is using a UX wireframe kit. Now, I have a few recommendations, and these are all free in order to find the UX wireframe kits, as well as UI kits, which can serve a very similar purpose, but they're more focused on the visuals itself. So the very first resource is, if you're dealing with iOS projects, is go to this link over here on the official Apple website. You're going to find some resources where you can find the iOS assets files, which are very useful to create iOS projects in a fast and efficient way, and also by maintaining the compliances with the Apple iOS standards, which is crucial for any iOS project. Now, if you're a Sketch user, I would definitely recommend you to check out the SketchUp sources. I think it's one of the best, if not the best, website to find the free Sketch assets. If you're an XD user, I would definitely check out xdguru.com. And if you're a Figma user, I would check out figmafreebies.com. However, there's also quite a few amounts of freebies which are pretty high quality on the official Figma website, so you might want to check out that as well. And another great thing is if you're using Webflow, there are some free website templates which you can use, and I'm quite sure that I've seen a UX specific wireframe kit on Webflow, and it was for free. So definitely check that out, because that could really help, especially bridge the gap between the design and the coding aspect. Now, I want to show you a live demo of the UI components from the iOS kit from Apple. So this is an example of what a UX kit has, and what it enables you to do is essentially to quickly come up with some designs which are compliant. So, for example, if I have to design a screen where I have a dial button, I can just go over here, frame, iPhone X, and over here has been created. So I can literally just going to change the color of the background just so that it's more visible. So as you can see, I already have the numpad. So if I had to actually create the screen live on a client project, and I think that I'm going to change the background and probably add maybe an effect like a drop shadow, just so that it's more visible. Okay, that's fine for this example. I can simply go over here, grab this navigation bar. Let me just check, and I'm also going to grab the status bar, go back on the iPhone X, add that, and yeah, I mean, as you can see, you can quickly come up with some examples also for the client if you're on a live call, and let's say that, for example, you want to add a menu at the bottom. You can simply go here, copy and paste it, drag it to the very bottom, just be sure that you're not missing any pixel. And yeah, I mean, you can quickly come up with some solutions. I don't think that this would necessarily work, but you kind of get the idea. It's just to show as an example. So yeah, I mean, UX kits can really help you out, save a lot of time. And I myself created quite a few of them, both for the website UX kits, dashboard, and also mobile dashboard ones, and the dashboard UX kit. And you can click on the link below this video, and you can see them. But yeah, again, these are premium, but you can find also free ones. So another method which is really good is the pen and paper method, which is the most ancient, I'd say, and the most traditional way to go after wireframing. And this is great for quick idea generation and brainstorming. And as the name suggests, you just have a piece of pen and paper and you quickly draft some of your ideas and wireframes. And this works really well when you have to convey something or brainstorm some ideas quickly. But whenever you're looking to build wireframes at scale and work on larger projects, this can really become not efficient real fast. So keep that in mind. Another method is just print visualization, which is essentially, you can go multiple ways with this, but essentially it's using something like a wall, for just sticking either digital or pen and paper wireframes which you drafted, and you can go multiple ways with this. There's literally, you can use a whiteboard, a blackboard. You can create some physical connections between the screens in order to simulate the flows. You can use pen and paper sketches, and or even just printing out sketches digitally or other information digitally. So yeah, the possibilities and the combinations are infinite here, and this can work really well with physical teams. You can have meetings where you can literally show the ideas and the flows directly. I think that you can pretty much do the same digitally. Just has a different feeling, and there are some pros and cons with this. For example, if I were to change something on on this board, I had to reprint the whole screen. So this can be a huge drawback of going after it this way. Maybe for a quick brainstorming could be better, but again, guys, it really depends on the project, and there's a lot of variables. You always have to think what does work best in your specific case. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up, and if you have any comments or questions regarding how to create a wireframe or UI UX design in general, feel free to leave a comment below. I really appreciate also if you have any specific resource which you'd like to share with the community. Feel free to leave a comment below on that too. And if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Feel free to subscribe and click on the bell notification in order to receive a notification every time that I post a new video. My channel, I have over 200 videos, and they talk primarily about UI UX design, and I cover topics from design softwares as well as the freelance business part of it. So I'm essentially sharing all of the experience which I gather over the many years that I've been working as a UI UX designer remotely. So this is it for this video. See you in the next one.